future adventures of Biggles.
At dawn, Ginger and Mishu fly to the border country to investigate the mystery of the dead white man. There have been no papers left on the body by which he can be identified, but Mishu recognizes him. It is the game ranger Simmons, and Mishu remembers seeing him at Latonga when Pat and Algy put down there before the storm. For a few moments, the Masai looks closely at the body, then at the ground nearby. He is quite definite as he tells Ginge that another white man committed the murder.
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Mishu. There's been no suggestion of white crooks in this neighborhood. The Black Elephant's blokes might have done it, but...
Mishu, no, Bwana. White man do this.
What makes you so certain?
Here, look. Bwana Simmons shot in head. Bullet kill him.
Yes, but plenty of natives carry rifles. We've already run into the Black Elephant's guns.
Black Elephant not do this. Here on ground, Bwana, there are marks.
Footprints? Yes, but there are dozens of them. We can't tell much from these.
Mishu tell. These footmarks, they native marks. Bangoro who buried Bwana Simmons.
And they obscure everything else?
No. Here and here. 2 other footmarks.
By George, they look like boot marks.
Boots of white man. This mark made by Bwana Simmons, but this one, white man who kill make this mark.
Well, they both look the same to me.
No, you see, 2 men stand so they look at each other.
By Jove, yes, they're certainly placed like that.
This man, bigger man than Bwana Simmons. Boot mark is big boot mark. Boot mark of heavy man.
I'll pay that one, Mishu. It could have been a white man who committed the murder. Can you tell anything else from the footprints?
Bwana Simmons come this way, from the bushes. Yes, he stand there and watch for a little time.
I'd give something to know what he was watching.
Then he walk out and meet other white man.
This is all worth knowing, but it doesn't help us much. We'll go back. Hold on, Mishu.
Bwana?
Mishu, behind you. There's something hanging on the bush. Hand it over to me, will you?
Oh, what is it?
It's a camera in a case. Simmons must have hung it on that bush before he moved forward. 7 films exposed. These may tell us what we want to know.
Mishu not say anything, mate.
Not now, but later when we've developed this roll of film, we'll see something. Have another look at the footprints, Mishu. We'd better learn everything we can before leaving here.
Other white man? He come from over there.
Over there? Well, that's from the east.
When he finish, he go on. That way.
Towards the southwest. Yes, I can see the footprints myself. Follow them for a while, Mishu. They may give some clue as to how he got away from here.
Yes, Bwana.
I'll scout around here while you're away. There may be something else to see.
Mishu follow little way and come back.
Aha! I thought we'd find one of these about somewhere. Oh, hello. You didn't go very far, Mishu.
Footmark stop on stony ground. Mishu not see where it go from there.
But when you lost them, the footprints were still heading southwest?
Yes, Bwana, no turn.
Well, the odds are he kept going that way. I had some luck just now. I found this lying in some grass.
A bullet?
Not exactly. It's a cartridge case. It would have been ejected from the rifle that killed Simmons.
That good, Bwana.
It could be the means of identifying the murderer. If we could match the cartridge with his rifle. Now, do you think there's anything more for us to see here?
Mishu not see any more.
Righto, then we'll fix up poor old Simmons and go back to the kite. Biggles will be very interested to hear about all this.
I'm on the trail of a mystery. Mishu is with me, so don't worry. Give me another 24 hours, and I'll tell you all about it. Cheers, Ginge. That certainly sounds as if he'll be all right tomorrow.
I don't like the rest of the story, though. There'd definitely been a fight in the rest hut.
Oh, absolutely, old darling. Furniture knocked over, blood on the floor. All the gory evidence in the world.
How long had the blood been there?
Well, not very long, old bean. Less than 12 hours, I should say.
Then assuming that the fight involved gin...
Oh, no need to assume anything, old trout. With Ginger's red thatch, you can take that for granted.
I should think so. In that case, he may have been involved at about the time he wrote this note.
He may have written the note first, Biggles, and then been caught up in the fight.
That's what I'm wondering. If it happened that way, he's in trouble.
I don't think it did. The plane was gone, don't forget. Ginger was the only one at Latonga likely to fly it away.
We don't know who was there, Algy. Anyone might have come in since you and Pat took off the other day.
Yes, by Jove. And there was that game ranger Wally you were talking about.
Simmons?
Yes, he might have been able to fly.
Oh, I don't think Simmons would harm Ginge. He's a good bloke.
Now, don't let's build a fantastic situation out of nothing. That's the easiest way to miss the really important facts.
We Lissies wholeheartedly concur, old sausage. Let's dish up the jolly old facts and observe those under the microscope, what?
We've told them all there are, Bertie. Ginge not there, evidence of a fight, and the note. That's all.
What about the natives, Algy? Were they still surly?
No more than they were when you and I took up Mishu.
Oh, I say they weren't very friendly, old bean.
No, they hang around on the outskirts of the kraal, but they weren't hostile. They seem to be a tribe that dislike white men, that's all.
There's usually a reason for natives to be antagonistic. It isn't as if the Latonga blokes haven't seen much of white folk.
Oh, sizzling sausages, no. Their kraals right beside a Bally airstrip. The blighters should be practically civilized.
Oh, they're not that.
Those natives will bear watching. The black elephant has inspired many of the tribes to indulge in some quiet law-breaking. If necessary, we'll check with the Latonga blokes and see if they aren't trying it too.
I'd better refuel the Mozzie if we're going up there again. She's nearly empty.
No, we shan't go today.
But baked potatoes, old bean. If you're nervous of those natives...
I'm not nervous of them. I'm simply going to keep them in mind if anything goes wrong. But Ginge asked for 24 hours. So we'll give him until tomorrow to finish the job.
Mishu, I've changed my mind. We're not going straight back to Kampala.
No, Bwana? Where we go?
To Latonga. I'm going to call in there on the way down.
But the Tonga native, they tried to kill us last night.
That's why I'm going to call in on them. There's too much mystery about this, Mishu. Simmons was killed about 20 miles from here, and yet those natives behave like a lot of nervous kittens about it.
They not want Mishu to tell, Bwana. They tried to kill Mishu and Bwana.
Why? In the first place, there's no reason why Simmons' death should concern them at all. And in the second, if they do know about it, well, they should be only too glad to have it reported. Why are they so worried about it?
Mishu not know.
Oh, but the head man of the kraal will know. We'll ask him.
It's not safe, Bwana. We go to Kampala.
After we've been to Latonga. I don't think the natives will tackle us in broad daylight. If they do, they'll land some lead from my pistol. But I'm not going on until the head man tells me why his tribe are hostile to us. It wasn't long before dawn this morning. These men sneaked into the rest hut as quietly as they could. Obviously, they meant to do us some harm. You know about this, of course.
Not no, Bwana.
Ah, don't give me that. They were your men.
No. Maybe other crowd. Not Latonga.
Did you recognize the men, Mishu?
No, Bwana. Mishu think they come from this kraal, but he was not sure.
Oh, very well. I don't suppose we can press that one. But men from this village did try to stop Mishu reaching me last night. That's true, isn't it, Mishu?
Yes, Bwana. I hear men say they come from Latonga.
All right, mister. What have you got to say to that?
Sun go hot. Time for drink. You come to my house.
What's all this, Mishu?
He want us to drink with him. Good headman do that for visitors.
All right. We'll go inside. But I'm warning you, old man, my gun's ready and waiting if there's any trouble.
No trouble. We drink, then talk. You sit. I bring drink for you.
I suppose this is all right, Mishu.
All headman do this, Bwana. We're safe while we watch.
We'll certainly watch. I'll plug this cunning old blighter if he gets up to any tricks.
Please drink. For you, Bwana. For Mishu.
Well, thanks. Know what this is, Mishu?
Native beer. Good.
Oh, thanks. Oh, very well then. Cheerio. Oh, what the blazes is that?
You drink. Good drink like Mishu said.
God. Oh, it tastes bitter. Mishu, what's wrong?
Bwana, don't drink. Bad drink.
It's drugged. Yes, I can feel it. You old swine. You drugged us.
Ginger fights to regain consciousness, but like Mishu, he can feel the effects of the drink overpowering him. Why are the Latonga natives working against them? What do they intend to do with their victims? Be sure you're listening to the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
After investigating the scene of Simmons' murder, Ginger makes a fateful decision. Instead of returning to the base at Kampala and passing on his information to Biggles, he will put down at Latonga. Despite Mishu's fears, he will visit the headman in the native kraal and demand to know the reason for his hostility. But when Mishu and Ginger do front the headman, the old native admits nothing. He is suave and hospitable and invites them into his hut to drink with him. Too late, Ginger realizes his mistake. Mishu staggers and clutches his throat. Ginge feels his head swimming and his legs crumple as everything goes black. When he regains consciousness, he is still in darkness, but it is the darkness of a prison hut. He guesses this when he feels the ropes biting into his wrists behind his back.
Mishu, are you there?
Yes, Bwana. Mishu here, but Mishu sick.
I'm not too fit myself. My head feels as if an atom bomb exploded in it. Whatever they put in that drink certainly had a kick in it.
Drug. Headman put drug in drink. Make us sleep.
I suppose we should be thankful he didn't poison us. What's his idea?
Bad man. Latonga native, bad native.
I heartily agree with you. But I still want to know why they're doing this.
They not want Mishu tell you about Bwana Simmons. They try kill Mishu then.
When they came to the rest hut last night, do you think they planned to kill us, Mishu?
Maybe, Bwana. Kill Mishu anyway.
Yes, I can't imagine even a bad tribe of natives having the nerve to kill a white man. As a rule, it's only the outlaws and secret societies who tackle that.
Black elephant kill white man. Kill anyone. Maybe Latonga native work with black elephant.
Yes, they certainly don't seem to work against him. Did you notice the cattle near the village?
20 cattle. This rich kraal.
And it's almost on the black elephant's hunting route. Why should one native kraal be allowed to retain its cattle when all others have been robbed or burnt down?
Black elephant not hurt native who help him.
I'll bet that's it. In some way, these blokes assist setters, Lulu, and as a reward for that, they're allowed to hang on to their cattle.
Maybe bad native at Latonga.
But if that's the case,
Doesn't make our situation look very pretty, does it?
You think maybe they kill us because we work against Black Elephant?
I don't say that'll be the reason, but if they're linked with him, it means they won't be squeamish about killing.
Black man not kill white man, Buena. Government punish hard for that.
I'd like to think so, Mishu. But they've gone so far now, I'm not very hopeful. They've drugged me. They've trussed me up like a confounded chicken and tossed me into a stinking hut. I shouldn't think killing would worry them after all this.
Mishu like to help you, Buena, but...
Yes, I know, but I can just see you through the dark now. You're tied as securely as I am, aren't you?
Hands and feet both tied. Cannot move.
For the moment, we can't do a darn thing. But we'll watch for the opportunity, Mishu. Sooner or later, that headman must show his hand. When he does, we might see a way out of this mess.
Headman bad. All native at Latonga bad.
Why you not kill? If Wanga give them drink, he put in herbs to kill.
Wanga is full. That is why Wanga is not head man of Kraal.
Wanga give counsel to it, man. Wanga is old and...
Wanga is full. You tell white soldiers he's killed.
You do not kill.
I kill. I kill so soldier cannot point at me and say he killed white man.
You have planned. There's a goal.
I am head man. Always my planning is good planning. Keep your foolish counsels, Wanga. Leave me do this killing.
How? How will the killing be done?
The sun will rise, the sun will go down. Then white man and Mishu will die.
Ah, you leave too late. It is night. Better to kill them now.
There will be another night.
Another white man, another plains. Suppose they come. Kill now while 'tis safe.
Kill now and white man know we kill their friend.
We kill another night, they still know.
I plan to kill so they know nothing. We weep. We are sad their friend should die, and no one say it is fault of our clan.
Yeah. How will the men die, so that no one point to us?
When they come again, Wanga will help me prepare the killing.
Oh.
Mwanga will say, this is a clever killing.
Sizzling sausages, it's daylight, isn't it? The sun's up, it's another day, it's time we were ballywell tootling.
Now, calm down, Bertie. Get on with your breakfast. Biggles and Algy will be up soon.
Oh, old darling, you disappoint me. Ginger's in the direst of valley straits up there at Latonga, and here are you wolfing your belly breakfast as though you were hungry.
I am hungry. And so will you be if you don't eat up. So stop burbling and have some food.
Oh, no heart. That's what it is. No belly heart whatsoever. There's old Ginger.
There's old Ginge probably having a perfectly good breakfast at Latonga and not worrying in the least about us. If you've any sense, you'll do the same.
Oh, you're as bad as Biggles and Algy. Do you know the blighters positively abused me when I woke them up this morning?
I don't blame them. It was only 5 o'clock.
Well, baked potatoes. We don't want to trundle up to Latonga at belly midnight, what? I say, is that a grilled sausage I see over there?
It is. Sizzled in the best Lizzie tradition.
Well, on account of sausages have a certain appeal to us, Lissies, and only on account of that, we'll design to swallow a modicum thereof. Slosh them over, old dear.
Ah, that's better. Now I can tell Biggles you calmly and patiently ate a good breakfast while you waited for him.
Calmly and patiently? Oh, sizzling sausages, how long does the old blighter expect us to wait? Here it is, nearly midday.
It's 6:30, Bertie.
Well, we should be halfway to Latonga, and Biggles and Algy aren't even up. Oh, baked potatoes.
They'll be here in a minute.
They'll be here sooner than that. Harriet, old darling, awaken the dead, by which I mean Biggles and Algy.
Hey, cut it out. You're deafening the natives from miles around.
And what's the idea of filling yourself with food when there's work to be done?
Stop filling myself with...
On your feet, Clot. You expect Biggles and me to do everything around the place?
Baked potatoes, you've been snoring your belly heads off.
No fear, we haven't. We've been over at the kite, getting it ready for the hop to Latonga.
Have you had any breakfast yet?
We're going to have it now. You and Bertie can relieve us on the kite.
There are guns, ammunition, and food to be stacked aboard yet. Off you go, Bertie, my boy.
Oh, just a second, old top. There's this sausage.
Sausage be hanged. We aren't going to keep Ginge waiting while you make a pig of yourself. Get cracking.
Oh, but I say, old bean, I haven't had a belly mouthful yet, and I'm hungry.
The kite's there. Everything must be okay.
I think it probably is, Algy. Ginge said he wouldn't be through his work until this morning. But just the same, I'm glad we put in the guns.
You're not happy about it, are you, Biggles?
I have an open mind. But if I knew more about the mysterious job that's been holding Ginge up, I'd be happier.
I wonder what it was.
As the proctor's down on the strip, we should know before long. We shan't find Ginge very far from his plane.
And put us out of our misery, Biggles. Hit the deck and let's find out what's been going on.
Yes. Yes, that's a plane, Mishu. It's the Mosquito.
Wanda, Inspector?
Biggles, yes. Probably with the whole gang. Now we'll see that headman blighter put in his place.
You sure plane come here, Bwana?
Of course it will. I told Biggles to expect me this morning. He wouldn't wait any longer. You listen. There, hear that? He's put down on the strip. In a few minutes, he'll...
Headman comes.
I'm not worried about any headman now. Did you hear that, old chap? That was another of our planes.
Here, plane.
Oh, then don't waste any time about it. Undo these ropes and let's go across and meet our friend.
Rope, stay.
Now, look here, old fellow. You're in for a sharp rap on the knuckles for what you've done already. You'll make it a darn sight worse if you delay now.
Look, stay. You stay.
What's that? You don't mean you're going to keep us locked in this filthy little hut? Those are our friends coming to look for us.
They'll not find you.
You stupid idiot. Surely you don't think you'll get away with that? Biggles will find us here, and then you'll be clapped into jail yourself. Unless you set us free at once, I'll see that you're arrested on the strongest possible charge. Attempted murder. What are you laughing at? I'll make that charge stick. You've tried to kill us a couple of times.
Tonight, we kill.
You think so? Biggles will have us free long before tonight.
You stay prisoner tonight. You die.
You're bluffing. You know what had happened to you if you had killed a white man? You won't risk it now. You're sure to be found out.
No one find out.
Of course they would. They'd soon know enough we were dead.
They know you die. They think leopard kill you.
Wild leopard live in jungle near this car, Bwana. A leopard that has eaten man.
Tonight, leopard eat more man. You and Mishu.
Ginger's blood chills as the headman tells of his plan. But surely Biggles will rescue his friends before nightfall. What excitement will the next few hours hold for those at Latonga? Don't miss the thrills in the next absorbing chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Bound hand and foot and imprisoned in a dirty hut, Ginger and Mishu are tremendously cheered when they hear the Mosquito put down on the Latonga airstrip. But the strip is some distance from the kraal, and the headman visits the prisoners before Biggles can find them. He tells them that when night comes, they will die. They will be fed to a man-eating leopard that prowls the nearby jungle.
And your friend come to me, I say. Gun of white man, spear of Mishu we find near bones. Leopard come, kill them. Men of Carl cannot help.
You filthy swine. Do you think Biggles will believe that?
He believe. Lap would kill many men.
You wouldn't dare.
Latonga native bad native wanna. They do this to us.
No fear they won't. Biggles will find us before then.
No one find you.
Of course he will. He'll see our plane on the strip. When he finds we aren't in the rest hut, he'll come looking for us in the kraal.
The Tonga man, clever man. We not keep you in kraal. You stay in this hut.
Well, it's in the kraal, isn't it?
This hut in jungle. Not far from kraal, but hidden. So only Latonga may know of it. No one find you here.
You'll laugh on the other side of your face before the day's through. You might hide us from most people, but not from Biggles. No matter what you do with us, he'll find us.
The plane's perfectly all right, Biggles. A bit low in juice, but there's no sign of any trouble.
I'm sorry to hear it.
Sorry. Sizzling sausages, Albine. You didn't want to find Ginge tangled up in a belly great prang, did you?
If he'd had trouble with his kite, it'd explain why he hasn't taken off for Kampala.
But he didn't plan to return until this morning.
This morning started 5 hours ago, Pat. If Ginge was all right, he'd have been well on his way south by now.
There's another thing. Why hasn't he come out to meet us? He must have heard us land.
If he was in the rest hut, he'd have heard us.
Yes, that's the mighty valley question, what? Is he in the valley rest hut?
Won't take us long to find out, but we can take a guess at the answer before going near the place.
Not a sign of him. I knew he wouldn't be here.
It's an awful mess.
This is exactly as it was when Bertie and I came up here yesterday.
Is this the fight you were talking about?
Oh, well, baked potatoes, old dear. Doesn't look as if an afternoon tea party's been held in the valley place, what? Although my old Aunt Ermentrude used to hold rather hectic tea parties in her day.
There's nothing changed?
Not that I can see. You notice anything, Bertie?
No. Oh, same jolly old shambles, I'd say.
And yet Ginge has come in since you were here.
Obviously. The proctor wasn't here yesterday.
Then he must be about somewhere.
Somewhere where he either couldn't hear our kite put down or couldn't come out to meet us. We'll make inquiries at the native kraal.
Yes? Me headman of kraal.
I'm looking for a friend of mine. The white man who flew the other airplane in here. Can you tell me where he is?
Not know.
Oh, baked potatoes. Don't come that belly rot, old trout.
Leave it to me, Bertie. You must have seen the plane land.
Me not see. Natives in kraal see.
And did the natives see the white man climb out of the plane?
Maybe.
Did they?
Yes.
Where did the white man go?
Me not know, I know.
Perhaps we'd better make him know, Biggles.
You're acting foolishly in refusing to tell me these things. You know who I am.
White man.
I'm a white policeman.
He's more than that. We're all policemen, but he's a big policeman. One of the Queen's head policemen from England, the land across the sea.
Yes, by Jove, he's a most frightfully important warrior. We all positively quiver when he speaks, particularly when he bellows like a bally foghorn.
If you don't answer him correctly, you're likely to end up in jail. You might even lose your head.
All right, Lukes, all right. Break it down a bit.
What you want to know, Buana?
I want to know what happened to the white man who brought in that other plane.
He go into forest. He take gun. Native in crowd think he go to hunt.
Oh, I say, that's so much bally nonsense. Old Ginge just isn't the hunting type.
You heard what my friend said about me.
Yes, Buana.
You know what'll happen to you if I find you're lying?
Me know, Buana.
I'll ask you again. What happened to the other white man?
He go into forest with gun. That way.
And if that's all you have to say, we'll leave it at that. But remember, if you've been lying to me, you'll suffer for it. Come on, Lukes.
The man was obviously lying. I'm absolutely certain he knows where Ginge is.
Yes, and that's not in the Valley Forest hunting, by Jingo.
He's hiding something from us, Biggles. I wouldn't be surprised to find he's harmed Ginge himself.
That's quite likely. These Latonga natives have a bad reputation. For some time, they've been suspected of poaching wild game.
If they thought Ginge was coming to investigate, they might have attacked him.
That's the possibility I have in mind.
Then why are we wasting time? Let's get the guns from the kite and go through the village. One of us can cover the headman and the elders while the others search the huts.
We wouldn't find anything, Algy. That headman's a cunning devil. He'd foresee an obvious move like that. If he has any evidence of Ginger's whereabouts, I don't think we'd find it in the village.
Well, then what can we do, old bean? You're not going to suggest we waffle through the forest to look for him?
No, that would be a complete waste of time. We're going to wait and let the headman show his hand.
That's all very well, but he may have more patience than we have.
He won't know we're waiting.
Oh, but hang it all, old sausage. With two bally kites out there on the strip, it's a bit bally obvious, isn't it?
They won't be there. Algy, I want you and Pat to take the kites back to Kampala. In case anyone's watching, we'll all walk across to them. Pat can openly climb into the proctor, but when we reach the mossy, Bertie and I will slip into the long grass beside her and hide there while you take off.
Oh, baked potatoes, yes. And they'll think we've gone, too.
You're a genius, Bertie. The plan okay with you, Algy?
Fine, if you and Bertie think you'll be safe here.
Oh, one is always safe with the Lissie around, old trout. I mean to say,
Yes, well, we'll keep our revolvers and a couple of rifles. We'll be all right.
How long do you want us to stay at Kampala, Biggles?
Refuel both kites and bring them back first thing in the morning. We'll know by then whether the head man is on the level or not.
I hope you're alive to tell us about it. Well, if it has to be done, let's get cracking. The sooner we're away, the sooner you'll find out about Ginge.
Yes. Leave the rifles here in the hut. Bertie and I'll sneak back later and collect them.
I say, Biggles, old bean, how are the ants with you? A couple of the little trouts are dancing the Highland fling on my shoulder blade.
I'm comfortable enough. Keep well down in the grass, Bertie. I don't think we were seen whipping across here, but we mustn't risk showing ourselves at this stage.
We're grovelling, old bean. Positively grovelling into the belly dust.
There's the proctor.
Oh, good old Pat. Hope she remembers the flying lessons Uncle Bertie gave her. Oh, I say, she might warm the belly thing up a bit.
She was impatient to get away. She'll be all right.
Nevertheless, we'll have a word in her shell-like ear tomorrow, by Jove. Take-ups like that are only for a belly emergency.
Now, Algy. He won't waste any time either.
Biggles, old trout. Look at those belly natives. Over by the kraal.
Dancing for joy and shaking their fists at the plains. They think we've all gone.
The jolly trick worked, by Jove.
So far. Let's hope it works all the way and leads us to Ginge. We'll watch the kraal carefully for any hints.
Where they go, Bwana? The aeroplanes, where they go?
Back to Kampala, probably, Mishu. Away from here, anyway.
But two aeroplanes go. They take our aeroplane.
I know, and they've left us no way of escape. However, they don't know we're here. But they can't be blamed for that.
Maybe we don't escape.
Maybe not. Tonight, we'll know more about that. Tonight, when they throw us to the leopard.
Old trout, we Lissies hate to admit it, but we're beginning to have belly doubts about this nonsense. I mean to say, we've been here for positive hours and nothing's happened.
It's dark now. We might see something during the night.
Yes, well, personally, we Lissies see less at night than in the day. We aren't cats, you know.
Clots is the word for you, Lissies.
Oh, now, Biggles, by Jove, that isn't worthy of you. One might expect such a remark from Algy or Ginge, but I went... What is it? Sausages.
The kraal. Something's starting.
What is it, Mishu? Why are they chanting like that?
Native dance, Bwana. It's bad dance.
Bad? Why?
This dance of sacrifice. Soon they fed us to the leopard.
The natives in the kraal are working themselves to a frenzy, relishing the sacrifice that soon will be made. But Biggles is close by. Can he save Ginge and Mishu? Don't miss the thrills in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
By sending Pat and Algy back to Kampala with both planes, Biggles tricks the natives into believing that his entire party is gone. But Bertie and Biggles himself are still at Latonga and very much on the alert. They creep back to the rest hut and watch the kraal for developments. For hours they watch, but life in the native village seems to be completely normal. Darkness falls, and with it, a menacing, frightening sound strikes through the stillness. In their prison hut on the other side of the village, Ginger and Mishu also hear it. Mishu at once understands. This is the dance of sacrifice. When the natives have worked themselves into a frenzy, they will feed their prisoners to the man-eating leopard. Meanwhile, Biggles and Bertie listen and wonder about it.
It's a bally old hop, step and jump of some sort. I mean to say, natives always dance to that sort of accompaniment. What?
Yes, they're dancing, and it may concern Ginge. But for the life of me, I can't tell how.
You don't think they've made him into a jolly old idol or some such nonsense, do you?
Not these natives. They're a bad lot. And I imagine they'd be superstitious only when it suited themselves.
Yes, I can't imagine anyone bowing the knee before old Ginge. The old trout scarcely inspires one that way.
I've a feeling this dance serves a direct purpose. The natives are working themselves up for something that will suit that wily old headman. Something evil.
I know, Eldine. We'll waffle into the village and demand to know what it's all about. He may even give us a grandstand seat, what?
Yes, in the stew pot. That'd be about the most dangerous thing we could do. Those natives resent us anyway. We'd be asking for trouble if we went near them when they were excited.
But if old Ginger's tied in with it somewhere...
He may not be. But we'll find out. The excitement seems to be at the far end of the village. We'll scout through the trees until we can see what's actually going on.
Sort of burble up to close quarters, what?
If it's possible. But take it quietly and carefully. Everything will be cooked if we are seen.
That noise seems to be growing louder, Mishu.
Yes, Bwana. They come closer.
You mean they're coming for us now?
They dance this way. Native all excited. Now ready to kill.
To kill us?
Yes, Bwana.
I'm not going to take it. I'm hanged if I'll lie still and let them throw me to that leopard.
We tied up one and not able to stop them.
Then we'll get untied. You're as strong as an ox. Break those ropes. Tear at them. See if you can rip them off.
No. Rope's too strong. Mishu not break them.
Neither can I. There must be some way, Mishu. There must be some way out.
No way. They come. Listen.
They're here. Almost outside the hut. Get the blazes out of this! We're not going to...
We come. We come for sacrifice.
Keep your distance. I'll kick your teeth in if you come near me.
Soon you kick at that quiet leopard, white man. Kick at his teeth. You find a sharp like mine.
Oh, you devil.
You not like fighting, huh? Leopard bite deeper than me. I will take you. Soon you feel a bite of leopard. Mwanga! Afrika! Mutesa!
This is as far as we dare go, Bertie. We'll be seen in the moonlight if we move beyond the trees.
But it's scarcely the Valley Grandstand, old bean. We Lissies still can't make out exactly what's going on. I mean to say, all we can see is a whirling, twirling, bobbing, leaping mass of black blighters.
The movement does make it hard to pick anything out from this distance. But keep watching. We'll grow accustomed to it quickly enough.
I'd say they're staying in that valley clearing, what?
Yeah, looks like it. The procession settled down there for the moment.
The dancing sort of concentrated on something in the middle. Oh, if only that valley witch doctor Blighter would calm down for a jiff, we might be able to see what it is.
He won't calm down. But there's certainly something inside the circle. Something on the ground, I should say.
Mishu, can you hear me through all this row?
Mishu here, Bwana.
I've been trying to cut through my ropes on a stone. I can't make it. You any hope of getting free?
No, I try. Ropes too strong.
Then we're finished. What happens next?
Mishu not know. Headman come. Soon we know.
How you like to lie there, white pig? Soon leopard come. He crawl over you and bite. He claw you. How you like it, white man? Eh?
Well, don't expect me to help your comedy along. But cut these ropes free and I'll give you some amusement. I'll tear that filthy head from your body.
I know you do nothing. Now you die, I spit on you, white pig. And on Mishu, slave of you, white pig. Now you wait. You wait for leopard. You wait for leopard come.
They're going, Mishu.
Yes, Bwana. Let them go back to Kra. Soon dance stop.
But are they going to leave us lying here?
They leave us. The edge of forest. Soon, all gone but us.
And then?
When leopard come.
They've gone, Elbean. Not a sausage in the jolly old frying pan now.
I'm not so sure.
Well, if you aren't, you're bally well seeing things. To the Lissie orbs, the clearing's deserted. They've even turned off that ghastly bally jazz band.
No. The clearing isn't deserted.
Oh, now, hang it all, Elbean.
There's something still there, Bertie. Something on the ground.
By Jove, so there is. Looks like a couple of sacks of spuds.
It was round those blobs that the natives were dancing. There's something there that was the cause of the whole performance.
The question is, old Trout, what?
We're going to find out.
What? Who's into that clearing with the kraal only 100 yards away?
We'll risk that. You keep your eyes steadily on the kraal. If there's any sign of movement, send over a shot as a warning.
Never let it be said that a Lissie didn't do his best, old sausage. But we've a horrible feeling we'll land a spear between the shoulder blades before we spot a bally thing.
Make sure you don't. Now, come along. Take it slowly, so that our movement won't attract attention.
We're not in our attracting mood tonight, Elbean. Definitely not. I say, the smell around this part of the world isn't particularly wholesome, what?
No. It's the smell of carnage.
Sizzling sausages. You don't mean death and all that sort of thing?
Yes. Can't you see the bones lying about?
Oh, I say, we Lissies have a profound dislike for bones. We much prefer them to be covered with a spot of flesh.
This place is like a slaughter yard. There's something else about that smell, too.
Yes, there are all sorts of things about it. All of them frightfully, very unpleasant.
It's a wild animal smell, I think. Bertie, that's Ginge.
What?
Lying on the ground over there, and Mishu's with him.
By Jove! They were the star turns in the jolly old song and dance act, what?
I had a feeling we'd find something like this. Ginge! Ginge! It's Biggles.
Biggles! For Pete's sake, come over and untie me. Get us out of this darn place.
We're coming. Doesn't seem to be much wrong with him, thank goodness.
No, the old Hebblethwaite chirrup sounds as loud and clear as ever.
I say, you trouts look more like sacks of potatoes than ever now we're up close.
Oh, stop talking rot and cut us free. We want to get out of this.
Look after Mishu, Bertie. I'll fix Ginge.
Roger. Tell me, Biggles, where on earth did you come from? We heard you fly away, not long after midday.
You heard Pat and Algy. They took the 2 kites while we stayed here.
Oh, I see. Did the headman know that?
No fear. We deliberately let him think we'd all gone.
Did you hear that, Mishu? They play games like that and nearly finish us off properly.
Oh, I say, don't start at great length, old bean. You're a positive letdown. We expected to find your mangled remains, and instead you're as lively as a valley 2-year-old. That's not what we Lissies call being finished off.
Well, it might have been. Eh, Mishu?
Oh, they come and everything. What do you say? Okay. We're safe now, Buana.
There you are, Ginge. You're free.
Thanks, Biggles.
Now then, tell us what this is all about.
Well, Mishu and I were going to be sacrificed.
Sacrificed? Sizzling sausages, old boy. Sacrificed to what?
To leopard. Soon leopard come, Buana. Eat all who are here.
That's right. That's why they left us. They held the dance in our honor and then whipped off so that his nibs, the leopard, could come and have us for dinner. For dinner, mark you.
Oh, we go. Please, say we go. One, Inspector, we go.
Mishu, what is it? Why are you looking like that?
Mishu not know, but Mishu feel something.
Baked potatoes. Biggles, look. Look. Coming from the trees.
Oh, the leopard.
The 4 men whirl round to see a black shape streaking towards them from the trees. This is the man-eating leopard. Will the natives yet have their sacrifice? Don't miss the next thrilling episode of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Ginger and Mishu do everything they can to free themselves as they're carried by dancing, yelling natives to a clearing beyond the village. But their bonds are securely tied. The strain of the savage ceremony grows so great that they almost feel relief when the natives turn back to the kraal and leave them alone near the fringe of the jungle. But they have been left as a sacrifice to the man-eating leopard. However, Biggles and Bertie have been watching from the jungle, and they waste no time in freeing their friends. They loosen the ropes none too soon. There is a warning cry from Bertie, a savage snarl, and the flyers whirl to see a black figure hurtling from the forest.
It's the leopard. Stand fast, all of you. I'll fix him. You hit him, but he's still coming.
Oh, by Jove, that fixed him, old trout. By Jove, I say, you poured half the Valley magazine in, didn't you?
Something like that.
You stopped him just in time, Biggles. He was almost on you.
I was aware of that.
So, This was the horrible thing you blokes were to provide dinner for, what?
Yes. The natives left us lying here trussed up so that we wouldn't have a hope. I don't care for your face very much, Bertie, but it was almost a beautiful sight when it turned up just now.
Oh, I say, how awfully nice of you, old trout. I'll cross off one of your black marks for those kind words.
That was a fiendish thing to do.
What? For Ginge to comment about the Lizzie fizz?
Don't be an ass. From the look of this clearing, you fellows wouldn't have been the first to provide meals for wild animals. Is that the explanation for these bones, Mishu?
Yes, Bwana. When bad natives like Latunga native not want people anymore, like old men and women, like Bwana and me, they tie them and leave them for wild animals to eat.
Sizzling sausages. What a ghastly idea.
They had a nerve to think they could get away with it with you blokes.
No, Bwana. When you come, they show you gun and that's a guy. They say they find it near bones. You think lion kill us and eat us, just like in jungle.
Why, Jingo, old bean, we might have believed a belly yarn like that. It'd be dashed hard to disprove.
Yes, I suppose it could have been difficult.
Now Bwana know why some animals are man-eaters.
I must tell dear old Aunt Anastasia about it when I get home. She'll love this little tale.
Look, you won't ever get home if we don't clear out of this. Biggles, the natives will be back in a minute.
I doubt it.
But they must have heard the shots.
That's why I think they'll keep away from us. They thought they could kill you without suspicion falling on them, but they won't risk a mass slaughter.
Baked potatoes, I hope you're right, old sausage. I mean to say, suppose this bally leopard has a second cousin hovering somewhere about the jungle. The blighters might try to feed us to him.
I shouldn't think so, but we shan't take any more risks. Come back to the rest hut and we'll barricade ourselves in for the night. Then, if an attack does come, we'll be ready for it.
You think that, do, Bwana?
Oh, yes, that's positively magnificent, old boot polish. If the blighters can push over the wardrobe, they're welcome to a free toot on old Harriet.
Door barricaded, Bertie?
Oh, yes, old top. Mishu's done the strongman act and lugged half the furniture behind it. If they want to waffle in here, they'll have to wriggle through the windows.
They won't do that in a hurry. Ginge and I have barred them all.
Huh. Makes the place a bit like an oven, what?
It's safer this way. Now, Ginge, what's your story? We've been so concerned with looking after ourselves that we haven't heard beyond the leopard bit yet.
Well, that was to be the payoff. Mishu and I had discovered something the headman didn't want passed on.
Oh, you've been doing a bit of sleuthing, what?
Exactly. Mishu heard about the murder of a white man, and I thought I should investigate it before coming back to Kampala.
You're quite right.
The local natives even tried to block Mishu, telling me that much, but we beat them off.
Well, that'd be the fracas we spotted when we came up day before yesterday, what?
That was it. We had a scrap in this hut. However, they didn't stop us, and we flew up to inspect the body of this bloke.
Where was it, Ginge?
Up near the Sudan border.
On the Black Elephant's line of march.
Oh, near it, I should think.
By Jove. So that blighter's tied up with this too.
Oh, no, he isn't. Well, at least as far as we can tell.
Well, then who did the dark and dirty deed?
Don't mess up my story, you ape. I'm not up to that bit yet.
Oh, very well. If you think you can spout without the help of Lissie, very well spout.
You found the body all right?
Yes, Mishu led me straight to it. It was a bloke called Simmons.
Simmons? I've heard that name somewhere before.
Bwana Algy and Miss Pat meet him here when they bring Mishu to Latunga.
That's it. You recognized him, did you, Mishu?
Yes, Bwana. Mishu know him, and Mishu know how he died.
That's interesting, by Jove.
It is interesting. That bloke was shot in the head. Mishu examined the footprints and worked out pretty conclusively what happened.
What was it, Mishu?
Well, Bwana Simmons looked through trays at something. Other man.
Yes, and something more than that, Biggles. He took photographs. We found his camera.
Good. Go on, Mishu.
Well, Bwana, after that, he moved forward, and then other man shoot him. Other white man.
What's that? A white man?
Sizzling sausages.
It was a white man, all right. Rocks you a bit, doesn't it? You know, my first thought was of the Black Elephant. Or, if not him, some other savage natives. But Mishu proved to me that he was right.
Yes, white man kill. Mishu see where he come from, and also where he go after killing.
Well, remember that one, Mishu. It may be important. Ginge, you said you found a camera. Did you pick up any other evidence?
Yes, we did, Biggles. The cartridge case of the bullet that killed him.
Oh.
I left them both in the proctor.
The proctor? Oh, confound it. Pat will have taken them back to Kampala with her. However, we'll look at them in the morning. Anything else happen, Ginge?
Oh, plenty. But you know about that. I dropped in here at Latonga to have it out with the headman.
Yeah?
And then he drugged us. Actually, we went through all sorts of things. And we were to be served up to the leopard. And that's all.
That's very interesting, Ginge. And something that'll have to be followed through. When the kites take us back to Kampala tomorrow, we'll discuss it with the police authorities.
Hello, Pat. I thought you were in bed asleep.
No, I went across to the hangar to check the proctor. She needed some more work done on her, and I didn't want it to hold us up in the morning.
Good scheme. Everything okay now?
Yes, I finished it. And I found these in the cockpit.
A camera and a cartridge case. Now, where did they come from?
Ginger must have left them there. I've been wondering if they're tied up with the mystery he was investigating.
They probably are. There's a roll of film in this camera, Pat. There have been 7 exposures.
Should we do anything about it?
Well, it must be tied in with Ginger's stunt somehow. It certainly isn't his camera. He may be wondering what's in this film.
We can fix that, can't we?
Yes, and we will. I'll develop the film right away. Then we'll see what the photographs tell us. There they are, Pat. 7 perfectly good snaps.
But they don't mean very much. Not to us. But they may mean a great deal to Ginge. We'll take them to Latonga with us when we fly up in the morning.
Anyone about?
Where are they, Algy?
Well, there's no sign. Oh, there they are, coming out of the rest hut.
What ho, Beans? What ho?
Ginger's with them.
And Mishu. Looks as if everything's all right.
Glad you came early, Algy.
Oh, rather, absolutely. Positively delighted, as a matter of fact. We've been sitting in the rest hut straining our bally ears for that miss in your engines, Algy.
You took long enough to come out, then. We thought you'd be on the strip waiting for us.
Oh, we locked ourselves in so securely last night that it took about 10 minutes to unbarricade the bally dump.
Have you had any trouble with the natives?
Ginger and Mishu had some fun. That's why we took the precautions.
Are you all right, Ginge? Oh, it's wonderful to see you safe.
Yes, I'm fine.
And it's good to see you grinning about the place again, Mishu.
Oh, Mishu. Fine, too. A1, Bwana.
But we've been busting for you to come, you know, Algy. We want something out of that proctor.
A camera? And a cartridge case?
Yes, a camera and a cartridge case. Did you find them?
We not only found them, Ginge, but Algy developed the film. We thought you might want to know what's in it.
Oh, you beauty. That's just what I wanted. Where is it, Algy? Oh, come on, quickly. Let's see the photographs.
They're not as exciting as all that. Here you are.
Oh, let me see.
And hog them, old Bean. Come on, move over. Let's all have a gander.
Now, just a minute. This first one. Natives hacking tusks out of a dead elephant. Those 2. Wonder who they are.
Let me look, Bwana. Oh, Mishu know who those natives are. They're Latonga natives. Mishu know.
Latonga natives. By George, yes, you're right, Mishu. And look, there's the headman.
That might explain part of the mystery. Let's see the others, Ginge.
Just a moment. Oh, hello. That's a dead rhino, isn't it?
Horns cut off, Bwana. You know, like they take elephants' tusks.
Yes. That ties in. What's next?
Let's see. Oh, much the same thing. It doesn't look as if we're going to learn much.
Ah, a white man, by jingo.
Yes, a white man. There's Simmons' murderer.
Flyers eagerly crowd round the snapshots. Who is this white man? Is he indeed the murderer of the unfortunate Simmons? There'll be more action and excitement in the next enthralling chapter of The air adventures of Biggles.
The air adventures of Biggles.
After rescuing Ginger and Mishu, Biggles orders the rest hut barricaded for the night in case the Latonga natives should attack. But the night passes without incident, and the flyers are waiting for the planes when Pat and Algy bring them in from Kampala. Ginger is delighted to find that Algy has developed the film from the murdered man's camera. The others cluster around him as he flicks through the photographs to see what they show of the crime. 3 or 4 seem to implicate the Latonga natives, but when he sees the 5th, Ginge draws a sharp breath.
This is it. There's Simmons' murderer for you.
Is it, by Joe? Hey, don't crowd, Algy. I want to have a peek at the blighter.
And I want to know what it's all about. I didn't know Simmons was murdered.
The ranger that we met here a week ago?
Yes, Ginge and Mishu discovered that he'd been killed.
And by a white man in this photograph. If he didn't do it, I'll eat my hat.
You can have a bite of Harriet, old bean, more digestible.
He certainly looks the part of a murderer. Big and bearded, with those crossed bandoliers on his chest. Looks like a modern-day pirate.
That mightn't be far out. See what he's doing?
He seems to be bargaining for some elephant tusks with a group of natives.
Those are the local natives that we saw in the other pictures.
This explains why the headman was so anxious to put you and Mishu out of the way, Ginge.
Why?
These natives are poachers. They've been illegally killing wild animals and selling the ivory to that big white man. This picture and the next 2 are all photographs of the deal.
This begins to make sense. Simmons must have heard about the poaching and followed the blokes from the village. He saw them killing the animals and took a couple of snaps for evidence. The first few here. And then he followed them right through to the trading point.
That's it. There he took the really important pictures of this white man. I should say a few minutes before he died.
Aren't you all barging ahead a bit? There's nothing in these photographs to suggest that bloke killed anyone.
Mishu's investigations proved that Simmons moved forward from the bushes where he took these photos and was shot while he was talking to another white man.
This chap.
I don't think there can be any doubt who it was. Notice in the photographs that there's only one man carrying a rifle?
The white man?
Yes. All the natives are carrying spears. It must have been the white man who fired the shot.
But why should Simmons show himself if he was spying on them?
That's something we may never know. He may have been seen, but as his camera was hanging on a shrub, I'd say he deliberately stepped forward to arrest these chaps. Unfortunately, the result went the other way.
Oh, well, then that's settled, then. This is the murderer, but, who is he?
Do you know him, Mishu?
Not know him, Buana, but hear about them plenty times.
Oh?
For a long time, native in these parts talk of big white man with beard. He come down from Ethiopia to buy ivory. Oh, he bad man.
That proves he isn't very savory. Traders aren't all allowed to hop the Ethiopian border like that.
Sounds like a watertight case for the local police. If they can find him, they'll get him on a number of charges.
Yes, but by the time we fly back to Kampala and the police start moving, our murderer will have made himself very scarce. It'll take days for the police to reach the border country on foot.
We could do it in a few hours.
But how are we going to find him? We've proved how hard it is trying to track down Zeta Zulu.
Oh, it won't be as hard as that. Mishu has a fair idea which way he went and where he came from. If we take the 2 planes and follow each trail, we'll have a good chance of finding him.
I agree. Algy, you and Bertie can go in the Proctor, with Ginger as your guide, and Mishu can guide Pat and me in the Mozzie.
Roger. Which trail do you want us to follow?
We'll go to the scene of the crime and work it out from there. Is that far from here, Mishu?
No, Buana. Few minutes in aeroplane. We get there very quick. There, Buana. We bury Buana Simmons under stones. And open country a mile away, that's where we'll land plane.
We shan't bother landing now. I'll take your word for what we'd find down there. Now, where do you say the white man, the murderer, came from?
That way.
From the east. Yes, that's the way he'd come down from Ethiopia. And where did his tracks lead to?
Other way. Where we come from Latonga.
Southwest. Right. Pat, call up Algy and see if he's clear on these directions. If he is, tell him to take the southwestern course and try to find the murderer. We'll go in the other direction and see where he came from.
Roger. This is Pat calling Algy. Pat calling Algy. Are you receiving? Over.
There's Lake Rudolph ahead. That's right on the junction of the Sudan, Kenya, Uganda, and Ethiopia.
The trail still leads us to Ethiopia. Mishu must have been right about this man.
I think so. The trouble is, we are flying more or less blind now. His trail may come from an easterly direction, but somewhere here he probably swung round from the north.
Biggles, across there to the left, there's a chain of water holes, and they seem to be linked by a road. He might have come down there.
It'd scarcely be a road way up here, and again it's much too wide for a game track. What do you think it is, Mishu?
Cattle track, Bwana. Many cattle come this way.
Cattle? We always seem to come back to them, don't we?
But even so, the trader probably used it. It'd be much easier going than through the forest.
You may be right, Pat. At any rate, it's the only track apparent in this area, so we'll follow it. We're near the northern end of the lake now. If we keep going at this rate, we'll soon be in Ethiopia. And that'll bring us into trouble.
Biggles, there's a column of smoke coming up. From that patch of...
Of tents. That's a camp, Pat. A big camp. Now we're getting somewhere.
There are plenty of men there, Biggles. But I don't see any white man.
No. You can't miss one white face amongst a lot of natives looking up the sky. What men are those, Mishu? They're not dressed like your tribesmen.
They Ethiopian men. They bad men to come down here cross border.
Then this is our white man's camp. Apparently he hasn't come back yet.
Biggles, I wonder if it's also the Black Elephant's camp.
What gives you that idea, Pat?
Well, we believe that he drove great herds of cattle up here, to the north somewhere. They might have made that track we saw.
Yes, but we also believe that he keeps the cattle at his hideout. There are certainly no cattle down there. However, the camp may have some connection with Senator Zulu, so we'll keep the idea in mind.
Are you going to put down?
No fear. We'll scud on for a few miles so the blokes below won't become suspicious. Then we'll head back south. We'll rendezvous with Algy and see what luck he's had.
Drop some height, Algy. There's something down there in the jungle.
Where?
Ahead of us, slightly to port. I saw some movement beside the river.
Yes, by jingo, I can see it now. There's a small camp down there. I can see sausages moving about.
Think we're low enough to make out their faces?
Well, if one of them is white, it'll do me. Keep it at that.
I can see 5 men down there.
And one of them is white. We found the murderer.
Now, don't go off the deep end about it, old bean. We aren't going to execute the blighter yet, you know.
We found him, that's the point. Look, I've marked his position on the map, so we can grab him whenever we want to.
The grabbing isn't going to be so easy. However, all Biggles wanted us to do was to find him. So we'd better let him know we've clicked. Call him on the radio, Ginge. Ask him what he wants us to do now.
Righto. This is Ginger calling Biggles. Ginger calling Biggles. Are you receiving? Over. Why the blazes did he tell us to come back to Latonga? This place is beginning to give me the willies.
It was the obvious spot for a rendezvous. We were only about 20 miles away, and Biggles will have the Mozzie in before long. We'd have wasted an awful lot of time if we'd gone on to Kampala.
Yes, I know, but I haven't enjoyed the few days I've spent here.
I say, something's going on down there. Those blighters by the strip aren't the natives from the kraal, are they?
They seem to be in uniform. But they're natives, all right.
They're Askaris, soldiers of the Queen's African Rifles.
But why the blazes should Askaris be here at the Tonga?
Search me. Better ask them. Here we go.
You know, there's definitely something odd going on here. Those Askari blighters are buzzing about like bees in a bottle.
They might have been sent up to rep the local natives over the knuckles. The swine certainly deserve it.
Well, come along. Let's find out what it's all about.
Holy mackerel. What's this?
Looks like the Bally Egg and Spoon race.
It's the Askaris chasing one of the local boys, isn't it?
It's the headman. He's trying to escape.
Well, this is no way to escape. This is the Bally airstrip. I'd watch it, Ginge. He seems to have his eye on you.
Look out, Ginge. He's going to throw his spear. He's out to kill you.
Ginge instinctively ducks as the native draws back his murderous spear for the throw. Has Algy shouted in time? What is happening at Latonga? Listen again for the thrills and suspense in the next gripping chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Photographs from Simmons' camera confirm Mishu's opinion that a white man committed the murder. Here, police set off in their two planes to track him down. Both parties are successful. Biggles discovers a big trading camp near the Ethiopian border, and Algy locates the murderer himself. When Algy turns his machine back to Latonga to rendezvous with Biggles, he and his companions are surprised to see native soldiers moving about the strip and the kraal. They are Askaris, members of the famed Queen's African Rifles. There is another surprise when the flyers step down from their plane. A native rushes headlong onto the strip, followed by a body of soldiers. It is the headman trying to escape capture. He sees Ginger and, with a murderous snarl, draws back his spear.
Look out, Ginge! Oh, Jesus, ghost, the spear went into the kite.
And missed you by inches. You jumped aside just in time.
Baked potatoes, he's still coming. He's after you with his bare hands, Jim.
I've a score to settle with this blighter. I'll fix him.
Good man, Jim. That brought him down.
Sizzling sausages, what a tackle. But the other blighter's still fighting. I think we should help him.
No, Ginge can handle him. The native's unarmed, so it's a fair go.
But he's bigger than Ginge. Stronger, too.
Is he? He'd need to be a darn sight stronger to take a sock on the jaw like that. Is he finished, Ginge?
I think so. I caught him with his head tilted. Managed to get in a decent crack. He'll be out for a while.
Then you can carry on the old battle, what?
Oh, no fear. Oh, he's too hefty for me. I thought he had me when he got his hands to my throat, but I've paid off my score, so I'm satisfied.
I say, are you fellows all right in there?
Baked potatoes, it's another white trout.
It's the officer in charge of the Askaris. Yes, we're all right. There's a near corpse your blokes can cart away, though.
Have you killed him?
No, not quite, but he'll see stars for a while.
I'll put a guard on him. I want to question him later. Sergeant, look after him, will you?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's get out of this crush. Nothing makes my blokes crowd around so much as a good scrap. My name's Haynes, by the way. Queen's African Rifles.
We're from the English Air Police. This is Bertie Lissie.
How do you do?
Ginger Hebblethwaite.
How do you do?
I'm Lacey.
English Air Police? That's Biggles' mob, isn't it?
That's right. He'll be putting down in a minute. Do you know Biggles?
No. But I've been serving in Africa long enough to hear about him. About all of you, for that matter. You've had quite a lot of fun and games down here, haven't you?
In the desert country, yes. This time we're operating further south. We're on the trail of a nasty bit of work called Seta Zulu, or the Black Elephant.
Do you know him?
Same as with you fellows. I've heard of him, that's all.
Oh, pity what? It had crossed the Lissie mind that you might be chasing the blighted too. We could have joined forces.
I'm afraid we're on another job. A report came into Juba, that's my headquarters in the Sudan, that a white man had been killed hereabouts. I was sent down to investigate.
Good grief. You're chasing up the Simmons affair, too?
Simmons' affair?
He's the white man who was murdered.
You know about it, do you?
We can tell you a good deal about it. But here's Biggles coming in now. I suggest we wait for him to put down, and then we can all compare notes. Between us, we should be able to nut out a plan that'll tie up this murder.
It seems to me you've done all the detective work for me. I thought we'd be trekking through the jungle for weeks.
Oh, it'll only take a few hours for your trucks to get through to the murderers' camp by the river.
The trucks could drive to the base camp near the border in less than a day.
I think we might do better than rely on the trucks. We still have 2 perfectly good planes, don't forget.
But now I'm here, you fellows will want to get on with your own job, won't you? This Black Elephant business.
I'm beginning to believe that they're all tied in together. The Black Elephant, this white murderer, and even the villagers here at Latonga.
By the way, Mr. Haynes, what was the reason for the comedy out on the strip when we put down? Why were your soldiers chasing the headman?
Because the old coot bolted when I started to question him about the murder. The villagers were quite belligerent when we arrived, so my blokes herded them into the centre of the kraal while I questioned the head man. Then he tried this cut-and-run business.
Oh, he probably thought you put him in, Ginge. That's why he tried to spear you.
We can stay under guard now, all the way back to Juba. That old boy is going to face a charge of attempted murder.
You'll have more than that to charge him with. Show Mr. Haynes those photographs, Ginge.
Yes, all right. Just a sec. Here we are. Look, there's the headman. You'll see him in several of the pictures.
Trading stolen ivory, eh?
He and his villagers are poachers. I think there's enough evidence in those pictures.
My word, that is. The fact that they're dealing with Bronau is enough to prove what they're up to.
Is Bronau the white man in the pictures?
Yes. I'd never met him, but there are photographs of him in our files at Juba. He's one of the most notorious bad eggs in the district.
In what way?
Anyway, providing it's crooked. He comes from Ethiopia. Actually, he's a European, but there may be some Ethiopian blood in him, too. When the war broke out, he was spying for the Germans in Addis Ababa. Since then, he's been involved in a number of crimes. Smuggling, poaching, theft. Enough to jail him for years. But every time we get onto his trail, he slips back across the border into Ethiopia.
You can add another crime to that list and hang him for it. He murdered Simmons.
So Bronau's your mysterious white man, is he?
We are sure of it. What's more, we can lead you straight to him.
By Jove, yes. And this time the blighter won't have a chance to skip back to Ethiopia, what?
I'll be awfully grateful for the help of your planes, Inspector, but you sure it won't interfere with your own work?
It may help it. Pat's persuaded me that Seta Zulu and this Bronau character may be working in together. Trot out your theory, Pat.
Well, it's largely a hunch, but it could be right. I believe that the Black Elephant brings all his stolen cattle up here and sells them to Bronau. Bronau then takes them back to Ethiopia, and as far as the British authorities are concerned, they disappear.
By Jove, baked potatoes, old darling. Yes, you know, come to think of it, you may have whacked the jolly old nail on the head with that. Now look here, we know Seta Zulu's heading north now. Bronau must be waiting for him.
And another thing, while he was waiting, he did some trading for ivory with the local natives. We're pretty sure of that. And then Simmons stepped in and was undoubtedly murdered. And, well, there we are.
The theory is very sound. There's a big Ethiopian camp up near the border. The men there are obviously waiting for something. And they're camped close to a cattle track.
Yes, and look here. I can give you some more evidence. Bronau's own camp is not far from the northern tip of the bamboo swamp. And we know that's how the Black Elephant's bringing the cattle up here.
He must be waiting there to collect the cattle from the Black Elephant. Then he'll drove them up to his base camp, and from there fall back across the border.
That's right. He could do that and still keep the cattle under cover for most of the way. There's an enormous belt of elephant grass just to the north of him.
Well, that convinces me. All right, we'll pick up Bronau first, and then wait for the black elephant. Oh, by the way, you happy to go into action immediately, Mr. Haynes?
My word, yes, the sooner the better. I'll leave you to do the organizing there. You know more of the details than I do.
Very well. I suggest you come with me in the Proctor, and we'll make the arrest. You and Ginge can come too, Bertie. It'll make our party stronger.
Infinitely stronger, old bean.
Algy, you and Pat take the mozzie and watch events from the air. If Bronau attempts to escape, keep track of him. Use your guns if necessary.
Roger.
Mishu can set off ahead of us with a group of Askaris in one of the trucks. They'll bring the prisoners back when we've made the arrests. Now then, any questions?
No.
All right then, let's start organizing. There he is, standing by the tent.
The blighter has a nerve. He doesn't seem worried in the least.
I'll worry him. You blokes come over with me. Keep your eyes on the natives in case there's trouble.
Go ahead. We'll back you up.
Are you Carl Bronau?
I am Carl Bronau. Who are you?
Lieutenant Haynes of the Queen's African Rifles.
How interesting.
Get your gear packed up. They're coming back to my headquarters with me. There are some questions we want to ask you.
How interesting.
All right. Get moving.
Yes, I get moving. That's you, little pipsqueak.
He's got Haynes by the throat. Come on. No. Watch the natives. They're moving in on us.
Bronau has given the signal for a general struggle. Will Biggles and his friends succeed in their arrest? Is this white crook connected with the Black Elephant? Listen again for excitement in the next chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles. The Air Adventures of Biggles. At last, Biggles sees a way to fulfill his mission and capture Seta Zulu. Lieutenant Haynes and a party of African soldiers have come to Latonga to investigate Simmons' murder. This was apparently committed by a white trader, Bronau, but Biggles suspects a connection with his own quarry, the Black Elephant, so the two parties decide to work together. With Ginger and Bertie, Biggles flies Haynes to Bronau's camp. The young officer steps smartly up to the massive trader and instructs him to prepare for arrest. Bronau's answer is to leap at Haynes, hands clutching for his throat. Immediately, his native porters advance on the group.
Watch them! Watch those natives! We'll fix them. You help Haynes. Look out, Bertie! One of those blokes has a rifle.
Has he, by Jove? Yes, he had, you mean?
Pump some lead at the other blighters, Ginge.
What, shoot them down? They're only carrying spears.
Spears can hurt, old trout. But don't shoot to kill, give them a fright. They're balking as it is.
Righto, let's belt into them.
Let's wing one blighter. Spear hand too, I should think.
They're off, Bertie. They're bolting.
Keep at them, send them right off. We've plenty of slugs.
I don't think they'll come back.
No. Anyone think there was gold in that valley jungle the way they tootled across to it? Now, let's give a hand to... sizzling sausages.
Here, help us. We can't hold this devil.
This blighter must be as strong as a belly ape. Come on, Jim. Into the jolly old frame.
They've got him down, but...
We can't hold him down. For Pete's sake, do something.
Keep him steady there. I can get in a shot.
No, don't kill him.
Haynes wants him alive, old trout. I've got it. Trust the Lissie, brain.
Where are you going?
To grab some rope. Cut that tent guy beside you.
Rope? What's the idea?
Don't burble, old bean. Just do it. Right, this'll do. Now, Gingy's leg. Now, fasten onto it. Keep the belly thing steady while I slip a loop over it.
Roger. There. Quickly, Bertie. He'll throw me off in a minute.
I won't be a sec. Now, that'll do. Now, hold him. I'm going to tie this to the tent peg.
Oh, I get it. Going to tie him down.
That's the scheme. Now he's on the leg. Now, watch for a chance, Ginger. We'll rope that one, too.
Right.
What do you think you do, huh? You tie me like an animal.
I can't think of anything more suitable. That was good work, fellows. He's a hefty customer, this bloke.
Hefty? He's like an ox. He'd have choked the life out of him if you hadn't joined in, Inspector.
He'd have thrown off the two of us if Ginger and Bertie hadn't come good with their ropes. Phew, that was some fight.
Oh, you don't keep me like this. No one keeps Carl Bronau prisoner.
You'll stay a prisoner now, Bronau. Maybe for the rest of your life.
What do you mean? I didn't do anything.
No. I can call to mind about a dozen charges of smuggling, theft, and poaching we could pin on you. But we'll worry about the murder rap.
Murder? I didn't do no murder.
What about Simmons? Who killed him?
I do not know Simmons. I never hear of him.
Skip it, Bronau. If you've got your breath back, Inspector, I suggest we search the tent.
Of course. You blokes keep your eye on Bronau. Don't take risks with him. If he makes trouble, shoot.
No, nothing will give us more delight, old sausage. We'll watch the bally reptile.
What's this over here? Bronau's wearing a wristwatch, isn't he?
He was. Came off during the scrap.
This one must belong to Simmons. There's a pile of personal odds and ends here. Petrol lighter, cigarettes, pocket knife, money.
Have a look at that wallet.
This settles it. There are some papers there that identify Simmons.
And identify Bronau as his murderer. That's your evidence when you get him to court.
Yes, I'm satisfied. Let's get out of this tent. The place smells of Bronau.
Not for a moment. I want to see if there's anything else. Ah.
What is it?
A cash box. An ordinary metal cash box, but it might contain the evidence I want. Bertie!
Receiving, old bean, over.
Look through Bronau's pockets and see if you can find any keys.
Roger, Wilco, out.
What do you expect to find?
No, you do not have the key.
We'd better go and help.
Don't worry, he's tied securely. The boys can handle him.
Tea's coming up, old trout. I must say, friend Bronau seemed quite attached to the bally things.
I think I can guess why. He doesn't want us to see what's in the box.
Baked potato.
A wad of notes. There must be 1,000 quid there.
At least. We'll see if Bronau will tell us what it was for. Bronau, why were you carrying such a large sum of money?
Because I want to buy some cigarettes. What do you think?
I think it was because you wanted to buy some cattle. Stolen cattle from the Black Elephant.
The Black Elephant? I don't know any Black Elephant.
The look on your face gave me the answer I wanted. We both have our evidence now, Mr. Haynes.
I don't quite understand, Inspector. What is that money?
By George, I get it. Bronau's been waiting here to trade with Zeta Zulu.
This is their rendezvous. Sooner or later, Zeta Zulu and his gang will bring their cattle through the tunnel in the bamboo. They'll hide them in that big patch of elephant grass while Zeta Zulu comes over to do business with Bronau.
But it won't be Bronau he finds here, what?
I haven't decided how we're going to handle it yet, but I'll leave you and Ginge here to watch, Bertie. Mishu will be along soon in the trucks with the Askaris. He can stay with you.
Roger, old bean.
What do you want us to do, Biggles?
Stay on here until the Black Elephant arrives. I suggest you find a spot away from the camp where you can watch both this area and the bamboo. As soon as you see anything definite, you can start walking back towards Latonga. Wait for me at the first clearing where I can land a plane.
You're going to scoot back to Latonga, are you?
As soon as the trucks arrive, yes. Algy and Pat are still hovering up topside somewhere in the Masai. I'll collect them, and then, with Mr. Haynes, we can work out our plan of campaign.
You can fly back as soon as you like, Inspector. I'll go in the trucks with Bronow. He's a dangerous customer. I'd like to keep my eye on him until he's locked up.
Righto, then. When Mr. Haynes goes, you'll be in charge here, Bertie. Don't get into any trouble, but keep your eyes skinned for the Black Elephant and his cattle. I'll be over tomorrow morning to find out what's going on.
I should think this canal should do us, wouldn't you? We should have quite a nifty little view from up here, what?
You know, we're not very far from the river. I should say the cattle will pass right at the foot of this hill. What do you think, Mishu?
Buona right. Cattle come before. Go between hill and river.
Oh, I say, then we're too close for comfort. I suggest we find somewhere else, Bertie.
Oh, I say, by Jove, I wouldn't dream of it, old bean. I mean to say, dash it all, we're here to squiz at the line from the bamboo through to Bronow's camp, aren't we?
Yes, but...
well, then, in that case, I mean to say, this is the only possible squizzery, isn't it? If we moved further away from the river, well, I mean, dash it all, we wouldn't see a bally thing.
Well, you know, we won't see much in the night, anyway.
Oh, well, no, boy, I know that, but I mean to say, if a herd of cattle comes past, we'll see them, what?
Well, if that happens, the Black Elephant's blokes will just as easily see us, won't they?
Oh, no, by Jove, old boy, no bally fear. You see, we'll be lying low in this high grass. They won't spot a sausage. Now, you just calm the Hebblethwaite nerves and make yourself comfortable. We're liable to be here for bally days before anything cracks.
Oh, dear. No, well, I suppose you're right. Are you sure cattle have come through this way before, Mishu?
Yes, Buona. Mishu sure. At foot of hill, I see tracks. They come not today, but many moons past.
Oh, well, Well, I suppose that'd be the last issue that Seta Zulu handed over to Bronow. It's really quite a tidy little setup when you come to think of it, what?
How do you mean?
Well, I mean to say, this black elephant sausage raids the villages well to the south of here, sloshes the cattle he pinches over to the tunnel in the bamboo, trundles them up north to Bronow here, where the bamboo finishes, and then scuttles away with no cumbersome big mob of cattle to draw attention to himself, but with a nice juicy wad of notes instead. Taken all in all, a very tidy scheme, we Lissies consider.
And we Hebblethwaites are inclined to agree with you.
Oh, good egg.
Because, and then Bronow drives the cattle up to his base camp near the border, I suppose, and then falls back into Ethiopia. And no one's any the wiser.
That's right, old boy, that's how it's been in the past. But this time we're the wiser. Much fairly wiser, what?
Yes, I think we've got them. Good grief!
Here, calm down, old bean. It's only a lion.
Only a lion? Don't you know that lions get hungry sometimes?
Oh, I say, it's big gorgeous. Oh, that was closer.
And there were two of them.
It is dark. Lions come to river to drink.
To the river? Is that river just down there?
Yes, Buona. Every night, lions do this.
Holy mackerel! I can see them. There's a herd of them. And they're coming towards this hill!
Silhouetted against the skyline, the waiting men see a dozen or more lions trotting towards them. As yet, the animals haven't sensed their presence. But what will happen when they do? Don't miss the excitement in the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Ronau has been captured and taken under armed guard to Latonga, preparatory to being charged with Simmons' murder. Biggles believes that Ronau was waiting for the Black Elephant at the time of his arrest, so he leads a small party to keep watch for the native raiders. Bertie, Ginger, and Mishu choose a small knoll as the vantage point from which they can watch the camp, and at the same time see any movement at the end of the bamboo belt. Night falls, and nothing has broken the jungle quiet. Then there's a shattering roar. Silhouetted against the skyline, Bertie sees a dozen or more lions trotting towards the knoll.
They must have smelt us. They're coming straight for us.
No, Buana. They're not attack.
Well, I wouldn't lay down the law about that, old bean. They're coming from the jungle and they're aiming for this hill.
They go past hill. Buana watch.
They're still coming, Mishu. Let's light a fire to scare them off.
No, Valley fear. The black elephant sausage may be about. He'd come tooting across forthwith.
Well, who cares? At least we wouldn't be chewed to pieces by a herd of lions.
No, I think Mishu's right. They aren't coming very fast, you know, and they do seem to be veering around the base of the hill.
We keep quiet. Not good for them to hear us.
Oh, certainly, sausages, no. Jim, keep quiet.
Me? I didn't.
You see, Buana? They not come for us. They come to river to drink.
Yes, I can see that, old boot polish, but that river's only a few valley yards away. Suppose the biters feel hungry as well as thirsty.
They no, we lie here, Buana.
They've noses, haven't they?
Yes, that's what's worrying us lissies. We can smell them, so they must be able to smell us. Cardio and all that nonsense.
Lion not smell us.
No, you speak for yourself, old bean. I mean to say, let's take old Ginge. He ponds something awful.
What?
Wind blow wrong way.
That's right. It's blowing from the lions to us. That's why we can smell them so strongly.
But if they happen to tootle off in the other direction, it won't be blowing from them to us. I mean to say, suppose they trundle back on the other side of this hill. If they do that, we'll smell exactly like dinner to them.
Are they likely to do that, Mishu?
Mishu not know. We wait. We see.
Well, I suggest we burble off while they're guzzling that water. It may not be time later.
No, they smell us if we move. We wait.
Like waiting for the mess parade to move off, isn't it? From the point of view of the stew. Sicily sausages, listen to that row. What do they think this is, a Valley Symphony concert?
They're making more noise than ever. I think they must have smelt us.
No. One lion roar, that make others roar. It mean nothing.
Well, it means the dickens of a Valley row, by Jove.
They've finished drinking. They're moving away from the river.
Quick, Buana.
Yes, by jingo.
At least let's see whether we're on the menu or not.
They're going back the same way. They won't smell us. Shut up, you clot, or they'll hear us. Oh, that wasn't funny. Did you ever hear such an infernal din?
Yeah, worth hearing all the same, old sausage. We lissies wouldn't have missed it for anything.
Ha, ha.
No, definitely not. We were most intrigued to hear them drinking. Just like my dear old Aunt Jemima when she's waffling down the soup.
Do you think they're safe now, Mishu?
Lion not come back, Buana. Maybe other animal, but not lion. They all come when they hear rolling.
Just the same, I suggest we keep our rifles handy. You won't change your mind about the fire, Bertie?
No, afraid not, Albine. We're here to have a gander at the black elephant if he turns up. It'll sort of spoil the effect if we give the game away. We'll just have to wait in the dark. Pleasant thought, what?
Let's fix Bruno, Inspector. I've locked him in the same hut as the village headman.
I hope they're securely guarded. They're both dangerous characters.
There are 2 sentries on duty. Another 6 men sleeping in the hut next door. They won't get away.
Does that leave you enough men to tackle the Black Elephant's gang?
Oh, yes, I've another 30 or so. We always move strongly on these jungle treks.
There's more than the Black Elephant to worry about. What about that big camp up near the Ethiopian border? Aren't we going to do something about that?
I'm not terribly interested in those chaps, Pat. As far as I'm concerned, they can trot back across the border when they hear of Bronow's arrest.
That won't suit me, Inspector. It's my job to smash this gang completely.
Well, they won't do much damage without their leader, surely.
They're Ethiopians, carrying on illegal business in British territory. If you don't mind, I'll go after them.
Of course I don't mind. You do just what you think right, Mr. Haynes.
Well, would you mind helping me again? You see, I don't know exactly where their camp is.
Oh, we can fix that. You remember the position, don't you, Pat?
Oh, yes.
You can fly Mr. Haynes up there in the morning. Take the Proctor. Algy and I will be using the Mossy.
Thanks. I'm very grateful to you.
What will we be doing, Biggles?
I promised Bertie we'd be back over their post soon after dawn. We'll take the Mosquito because of its armament. If the Black Elephant has turned up, we may feel inclined to start a scrap.
But you're going to use my men to round him up, aren't you?
If everything falls out the way I expect it to. But you can never foretell what's going to happen on these stunts. We'll take the Mossy in case something cracks early. And we'll keep your bloke standing by their trucks in case it goes to plan.
When do you expect the Black Elephant to appear, Biggles?
I've no idea, Pat. May have been last night, maybe tonight. I left the blokes at Bronow's camp so they could keep us posted on that. We may be able to make a more definite plan of campaign when we've heard from them in the morning. Still alive?
Oh, only just, old Trout. We were mauled by about 1,000 savage belly lions last night. Well, more or less.
Oh, there were only about a dozen, and they didn't maul us, Biggles. But they did come within a few yards of us.
A dozen lions?
Absolutely, Elbean. We Lissies are qualified for the jolly old Circus Act now. We know how to say boo to savage lions without them answering back. The big thing is that you mustn't smell.
What's all this about? A herd of lions came down to the river to drink. We were on that knoll over there, and they came past the bottom of it. But they didn't notice us because we were to leeward of them.
You can thank your stars for that.
Well, tonight I suggest you light a fire.
Oh, we can't do that, Elbean. The Black Elephant might spot it.
Lighted by Bronow's tent. Then no one will be suspicious. In the morning, you can hop up to your watching post again.
I suppose we must stay another night.
Afraid so, Ginge. I gather the Black Elephant didn't come last night.
No, not a belly sign of the sausage.
Then he might come tonight. Sooner or later, he'll turn up. And when he does, we must be standing by.
Mr. Haynes?
Ah, quite a big affair.
Biggles thinks it's the camp that Bronow's been using as a base.
I should say it is. This is quite a convenient place for him to send the poached ivory to.
And there's a big team of men to help him across the border with the stolen cattle when he brings them up. Anything you want to see particularly while we're flying over it?
Yes, I'd like to see the bloke in charge.
You mean Bronow?
No, the fellow we left in charge at the camp. How many can we fit into this plane, Miss Kendall?
Well, another 2 comfortably, but...
Then, have you any objections to putting down? I'd like to grab the 2 ringleaders and take them back with us.
I thought you wanted to round up all those men.
I can see there are too many for us. If I can grab the leaders, I'll be satisfied. The others will scatter. Not likely to give any more trouble, either. Will you help me, Miss Kendall?
I suppose it'll be all right. But it seems awfully risky to me.
Oh, there's always a risk on a job like this. You've only to say the word and I'll forget all about it.
I'll say the word. Yes, we'll go down. very quiet, aren't they?
Watching us to see what we do. Keep your hand away from your gun. But they're in to draw it if necessary.
A good many of them have guns.
Yes. That'll be the boss. The bloke stepping forward.
I don't think he's coming to talk.
He gave an order of some sort.
They're right. Get down. They're going to shoot.
Pat and Haynes drop to the ground to dodge the murderous fire. Can they escape being shot down? Will Biggles trap the Black Elephant? Listen for the thrills as this story reaches its climax in the next stirring chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Biggles pays an early morning visit to the little group at the watching post. But there's been no sign of the Black Elephant yet. So, to their disgust, Bertie, Ginge, and Mishu are ordered to stay on the lookout for another night, while Biggles and Algy return to Latonga. In the meantime, Pat has flown Lieutenant Haynes to the Ethiopian base camp near the border. On an impulse, the young officer decides to put down and arrest the native leaders. As they walk across from their plane, there's an ominous quiet about the camp. Then a big native steps forward. He raises his hand, and there is a murderous burst of rifle fire.
Down, Miss Kendall. Keep down for Pete's sake.
This grass is no cover.
Then try and worm back to the plane. We can hide behind that.
All right. But we haven't much hope.
Miss Kendall. Pat. Pat, you're hit. Good grief. I can't leave you here. Take a risk and run for it. I'll carry you to the plane. Here we go. There. You lie there. You're covered now. I'll give these swine some of their own medicine.
They haven't made back at all, Biggles. I had a word with the sergeant.
They should have made it by this. I thought they'd be here at Latonga waiting for us.
How far away is the base camp?
Quite a distance. It's up by the Ethiopian border. But Haynes was only going to look round and then come straight back.
They may have put down for some reason.
I can't see why they'd willingly put down. But they may have been forced to land.
Well, it'd have to be by ground fire. There are no other kites up here.
Yes, it's ground fire that worries me. Ever since young Bruce Allen's moth was shot down, I've been expecting it to happen again.
It's very rare, Biggles. It'd be a fluke if these natives brought down 2 kites with rifle fire.
You've been flying long enough to know that flukes sometimes happen, Algy. We're going to check on that machine.
Suits me. Does the Mozzie need any juice?
Oh, she's carrying enough for this hop. I'd rather not waste any time. If Pat and Haynes are in trouble, we'll be needed.
Pat, take it easily. No need to talk until you feel like it.
Oh, my head.
I know. Poor old thing, you copped a nasty graze. It churned right across your forehead.
There's a bandage round my head.
Not exactly a bandage. It's part of my shirt. While you were unconscious, I bathed the wound with water from my bottle, then tied it up as best I could. Must be a pretty good doctor. That's what brought you round again.
Well, they out to it very long?
I couldn't tell you. Seemed like hours, but it probably only more than about 20 minutes.
I remember now. We were trying to crawl back to the kite.
And you wriggled into a bullet. I managed to carry you back here.
Through that rifle fire?
Yes, they were rotten shots. Wouldn't be surprised if the bullet that hit you wasn't aimed at me.
Even so.
Oh, there was nothing to it. I dodged and weaved a bit and kept as low as I could. We made it easily enough.
You made it. And you saved my life. Thank you, Mr. Haynes.
Oh, rot. And look here, forget this Mr. Haynes nonsense, please. I've been calling you Pat ever since you passed out.
All right. What do I call you?
Jerry. I've been wanting you to call me Jerry ever since I first met you.
Jerry. That do?
Sounds wonderful. So wonderful it almost gives me the nerve to tell you how I feel, felt from the first moment I saw you.
Jerry, you're leaving me horribly in suspense. I still don't know what happened after you carried me back here.
Oh, of course, I'm most frightfully sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
Just tell me what happened.
Well, once I had you safely behind cover, I started blazing away at the natives with my pistol. I hit the big fellow who started the shooting and one or two of the others. That seemed to quieten them, but not until I'd run out.
Is there none left?
Not around. I don't think we'll need any, though. They've struck their camp and moved off. You can just see the last of them disappearing into the forest now.
I'll take your word for it. The top of my head feels as though it's lifting off.
Oh, you poor kid. You lie there quietly until you feel a bit better.
No, we'll have to get back. We can't stay here, Jerry. Particularly if we're out of ammunition.
We haven't much option. I can't fly the plane.
I'll handle it.
You certainly will not. Not while you're in that condition, anyway.
I'm all right. I'll rest for another moment or two, and then you can help me into the cockpit.
Flatly and finally, Pat, no. That's a nasty wound as it is. I'm not going to make it any worse.
Jerry,
Quiet a minute. Pat? There's no need for you to fly the plane. That's the Mosquito coming.
Is it?
I think so. It's a plane anyway. When they come over, I'll wave them down. Holy mackerel.
What is it, Jerry?
There's not only the plane coming. The Ethiopians are moving back.
I thought they'd struck camp and escaped into the forest.
They did. But they must have reorganized themselves and sent a fighting party back to wipe us out. They'll reach us before the Mosquito puts down.
Then I'll have to fly the plane. Help me up, Jerry.
No, Pat,
I must. We aren't going to wait here to be shot. Help me. Help me into the cockpit.
Oh, well, I suppose so. Gently now. There. Now, steady on your feet until I help you to the machine.
Jerry, my head is swinging round. Jerry.
Pat! Good grief. She's fainted.
There's the Proctor, Biggles, but it's not by any camp.
Well, that's peculiar. I'll swear that's where we saw the camp before.
Perhaps they heard Bronno was captured and bolted.
That news couldn't have reached here yet. We haven't native drums or anything. Suffering cats! There are natives down there.
By Jingo, yes. Coming across from the forest.
Running across? They're heading for the Proctor.
And they'll reach it. We'll never get down in time to stop them.
We shan't worry about putting down. We'll stop them from the air.
Don't waste time, Biggles. They're almost to the Proctor. They're shooting at it now.
And we're almost to them. Let's see how they like being shot up.
They're scattering.
They can scatter faster than that.
That did it.
Anyone left?
No, they're running like mad for the forest. Those that can still run. But there's someone by the Proctor. It's Haynes. He's beckoning us down.
What about Pat?
I can't see her anywhere. Put down and we'll find out what's happened.
The poor kid passed out again when she was trying to climb into the cockpit. She's in a pretty bad way.
You lifted her into the kite so that she'd be clear of the natives, did you?
The best cover I could give her. I had no ammunition left. I was prepared to make a fight with my bare hands. I hoped I might keep him away from Pat until you landed.
That would have taken some nerve.
They weren't going to get Pat. Not while I was still alive.
I don't like the look of her. She's a bad color. I'll carry her across to the Mozzie and fly her back to Latonga as quickly as possible. We'll be able to give the wound better treatment there. You follow with the proctor, Algy.
Roger. I think it might be hospital treatment she needs. Why not fly her on to Kampala or up to Juba in the Sudan?
Because we're at the climax of a job. We came to Africa to wipe out the Black Elephants gang. Within 24 hours, I expect to have the opportunity to do it. When the moment comes, we'll need every available man and both machines. Pat'll understand if we delay her for another day.
Bertie! Mishu! Wake up, quickly! Wake up! Now, don't put on an act, you ass. Wake up! Come on, or I'll empty my hot water bottle over you.
All right. The Lissies are awake. No need for the rough stuff. Now, what's all the jolly old pother?
What? That! Did you hear it?
Sizzling sausages. That was cattle.
Yes, cattle. And with them, the Black Elephants gang. We've caught up with Seta Zulu at last.
The three watchers, now wide awake, strain to hear what's going on in the darkness. Will they be able to warn Biggles of Seta Zulu's arrival? How will the white men overpower the native raiders? Don't miss the next dramatic episode of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
Biggles' mission to hunt down and wipe out the savage native gang of the Black Elephant is approaching its climax. For the second night, Ginger, Bertie, and Mishu stay on guard at Bronow's camp, watching for the raiders with their stolen cattle. It's during Ginger's shift that the first warning comes. Away to the south, there is the unmistakable sound of cattle lowing. He immediately wakes his companions.
There's no doubt about that, what? The jolly old dear is trundling this way.
How far away do you think they are, Mishu?
Long away, Bwana. Maybe near a place where bamboo and...
Yes. Seta Zulu would have brought them up through the bamboo tunnel.
Then that means they'll be burbling across from the bamboo to the elephant grass.
Bertie, why don't we creep up close to them? We should be able to reach them in about 20 minutes.
Suits me, old bean. We Lissies are all for the jolly old creeping nonsense.
No, Bwana. Black men see us.
Now, that, Mishu, old top, is utter bilge. We'll wriggle our way through the long grass and the trees in such a way that no one could see us. In any case, dark enough for us to trundle right up to them in the open.
In dark, white face easy to see. Black men always see white face.
Oh, baked potatoes. I shouldn't have had that wash the day before yesterday.
He's right, Bertie. We daren't risk it. But there's nothing to stop you sneaking along for a look-see, Mishu, yourself.
Mishu go, Bwana. He tell you what black elephant men do.
That's it. We'll climb the knoll and wait there for you. We might be able to see something ourselves from up there. I hope the Blazes isn't much longer, Bertie. It'll be dawn soon.
Best thing that could happen. Then we'll see what's going on.
I don't want to be here at dawn. Biggles is certain to come over this morning, you know.
Oh, sizzling sausages. Mustn't let that happen, what? I mean to say it might frighten off the Valley Raider blighters.
That's why we must be clear of this. By dawn, we'll need to be some miles further back towards Latonga.
Then we can signal Biggles down without giving the game away.
Bwana!
Baked potatoes.
It's Mishu.
Oh, I say, you are good at this creeping nonsense, old bean. You nearly frightened a toot out of old Harriet, then.
Mishu, see them. See everything.
What's happening?
Black elephant man bring much cattle from bamboo. He move them to big grass.
Ah, we thought that was happening. Are they coming beyond the elephant grass or staying there?
They stay. Grass very high. No one see cattle in elephant grass.
Yes, by Jove, it's a wonderful hiding place for them. Some of that valley old herbage is about 15 feet high.
Well, it suits us they're staying there anyway. Are there many cattle, Mishu?
Many cattle, Bwana. 100, 200, 300 maybe.
And what about the sausages? The human sausages, I mean.
Yes, how many men? Is the entire gang down there?
Plenty men. Mishu think all bad native come this time.
Oh, I say, Wizzo. That means we'll grab the whole Bally issue. All the Bally lambs are down there, positively waiting for the slaughter, what?
Don't be too cocksure, Bertie. We haven't nabbed them yet. Oh, by the way, Mishu, is the black elephant himself down there, Setazulu?
Mishu see Setazulu.
You did?
Mishu wait to throw us a guy, but many men stand before black elephant.
Sizzling sausages, I'm glad you didn't skewer the old trout. Would have given the Bally game away somewhat.
Black elephant killed Major Harvey.
Tony Harvey? Oh, of course. He was your master, wasn't he?
One day, Mishu killed black elephant.
Oh, I say, I think a spot of the Lissie blood curdled when you said that. You leave the Setazulu trout to us, old boot polish. We'll fix him.
He'll fix us if we stay here much longer. Dawn's breaking.
Well, let's trundle, what? Let's find a nice, safe spot where we can signal old Biggles down.
Hello, Pat.
Hello, Jerry. You haven't been sitting by my bunk all night, have you?
No, but I came across at dawn. How do you feel after your sleep, eh?
Oh, hot. Terribly hot. Terribly hot, Jerry.
Here, drink this. Biggles left his water bottle by the bunk for you. There you are.
Thank you.
You're running a fever, you know, Pat. I'm not sure that water isn't infected.
I hate to be a nuisance, but I'm afraid this water is.
That settles it. They're flying you out to the hospital this morning, no matter what Biggles says.
What does Biggles say?
Oh, never you mind.
I want to know. What does Biggles say about me?
He seems to think it's more important to keep all men and planes standing by to tackle the Black Elephant gang.
Has the Black Elephant come?
Biggles has flown across to check with Bertie and Ginger this morning. He feels something will crack today. But he's being too tough altogether in giving this priority over you.
No, Jerry. Biggles isn't being tough. There's no more kindly or thoughtful man in the world. But for him, the job must always come first and the individual second. That's why he succeeds.
That's all very well with the blokes, but... Well, you're a girl.
I'm one of Biggles' team. And my view's the same as his. I refuse to be moved from here until the job's finished.
But, Pat, you...
Go out and wait for him, Jerry. There's a dear. I'll be expecting you to keep me posted on everything that happens.
Kites are ready, Biggles.
Did you reload the guns on the Mozzie?
My word. We may need those.
Good man. As soon as Haynes reports, we can send off the trucks.
I saw Jerry a moment ago, Biggles. He said his Escaris would be aboard within a few minutes.
That's good. I want those trucks away very smartly.
You know Mishu's going with the soldiers?
I didn't. It's quite a good idea. He can act as guide.
Well, he has another reason altogether.
Huh?
I caught him sharpening his spear. He told me he wanted to stay with the ground troops in case there was a chance of using it on Setazulu.
I don't like the idea of him making a personal issue out of this.
Oh, it's already a personal matter with him, old trout. Don't forget that Mishu was Tony Harvey's gun bearer at the time Tony was murdered. The old tin of boot polish has never forgotten that.
Very well. He might come in useful to Jerry Haynes if he's with the trucks. Now, is there anything else to check on?
Yes, there is. I'd like to check on what's happening. The minute you brought Ginger and Bertie in, you whipped me off to refuel the kites. You told me nothing. Is Setazulu at Bronno's camp or not?
Oh, absolutely, old bean, with knobs on. And cows mooing all over the valley place.
They've moved the cattle into the elephant grass. and that's where we are going to grab them.
All right, I'm happy now. Who's doing what?
First of all, Haynes is moving off in the trucks with his askaris. He'll take over Brownell's camp and post his blokes in strategic positions round the elephant grass. Then we'll fly over in the kites. Ginge with me in the Mossy and you and Bertie in the Proctor. And we'll winkle the crooks out of their hiding places.
As simple as an unseasoned sausage.
Doesn't sound simple to me. Haynes daren't take his men into the elephant grass, and Seta Zulu's blokes certainly won't come out of it. I don't see how we're going to force the issue.
Ever seen stampeding cattle?
Yes, but what has that to do with it?
Simply that if the cattle stampede in the elephant grass, our black gangsters aren't likely to stay in it with them.
By Jove, what a bally scheme. They'll come burbling out of the long grass into the arms of the askaris.
I hope it'll happen that way.
But why should the cattle stampede? You're surely not going to shoot them up.
No, I've no wish to slaughter good cattle unnecessarily.
Well, then how are you...
All aboard, Inspector. Any further instructions, sir?
No, Jerry. Move into position as quickly as possible and expect us over in, say, 2 hours. Wait for the cattle to stampede, and then it's up to you.
Right, sir.
Off you go now, and good luck.
Good luck to you, too. We may all need it, I think.
Look, Biggles, I still don't see how...
Come out to the kites with me, Algy. I'll give you a lesson in how to stampede cattle.
I'm here by the tent, Mishu. Did you have any luck?
Yes, Bona. I crawl into the grass. I see bad native there.
They're still with the cattle. Good. They didn't see you?
No, Bona. All the time Mishu hide.
Did you notice if Seta Zulu himself was there?
Mishu see Seta Zulu. Mishu kill Seta Zulu easy. Do you remember what Bona say? He make no move. He just look and listen.
That's the idea. You'd have been killed yourself if you had moved. I suppose they know we're about, huh?
They see truck come. They see soldier. But they think soldier not coming to big grass, so they wait.
They won't wait there long. Here come the planes now.
Well, what happened now, Bona? You say cattle go mad?
Yes, they'll go mad for a while anyway. The natives won't stay in there with stampeding cattle.
But why do cattle go mad?
Because they'll be terrified out of their wits by the plane. When they dive onto that grass, the cattle will think the end of the world has come.
Mishu and Haynes hold their breath as the first plane sweeps down from the sky at the patch of elephant grass. Will Biggles' plan succeed? He finally comes to grips with the black elephant in the next thrilling chapter of The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The Air Adventures of Biggles.
The black elephant and his gang with their stolen cattle are hidden in the tall grass near Brunau's camp, and Biggles is ready to strike his final blow. Lieutenant Haynes and Mishu move ahead with the askaris and the trucks. They take possession of the camp, and Haynes places his soldiers in strategic positions surrounding the high grass. All is now ready for the arrival of the plane. Biggles and Ginger come first with the Mosquito. Biggles sees his objective ahead, glances back to make sure that Algy and Bertie are following the Proctor, and then sends his machine into a steep dive.
Straight in the grass. This'll
Algy dive straight after us with the proctor?
We'll follow you, Algy, and he'll follow us, and we'll keep going until the cattle are nearly cuckoo. That'll drive the black elephant's blokes out of hiding. Here we go, Ginge. Right over the grass.
See anything? Oh, nothing much. Yes, there's some movement in the grass.
There goes Algy. Following our noise, he'll make some movement.
Here comes the proctor. This should do it, Mishu.
Make plenty noise, Bwana. They do this long time, Mishu go mad.
As long as it sends the cattle off.
Bwana, the cattle. Mishu hear the cattle.
Darned if I can hear anything. I'm deafened by those planes. By Jingo, yes. There's one of them, breaking from the grass. And another.
Many cattle go. And native. Mishu say native come from grass.
They'll come now. Here's the mosquito in again. That's done it. They're all away now. The stampede's on.
Sizzling sausages. Have you ever seen such a shambles?
Biggles' idea was a good one. Cattle and men everywhere.
Cattle tearing about the place with natives in front of them. Natives burbling about with cattle ahead. It's like a bally old stew pot with everything bubbling everywhere. Give her one more flip, old sausage, just for luck.
Righto. It's working, Mishu. I can see the scarlet on the left flank. They've already grabbed about a dozen of the blokes.
Quiet, native. Let the soldier hold them. But Mishu watch for.
Good grief. We'll look at that character sprinting out now. He's dressed for a party.
Seta Zulu.
Seta Zulu, is it? All right. We'll move across and grab him.
This for Mishu. Mishu got Seta Zulu.
No! No, come back, Mishu! Leave him alone for a... You confounded savage, Mishu.
Black elephant not kill anyone anymore. He died.
It's all over, Biggles.
Yes, and very satisfactorily. I made a last scout round the area to see if there are any stragglers.
Sausage on the hoof or natives, old bean?
Natives. I don't think many got away.
Haines should be able to tell us. Congratulations, Inspector.
Your stunt worked magnificently.
Yes, the cattle flushed out the crooks very smartly. How many did you grab?
We've rounded up 30 so far. Mishu has taken a part into the forest to pick up any that slipped away.
You won't find many. From the air, it seemed that every time a native broke from the grass, he ran slap bang into the arms of an askari.
But there's one bloke we didn't see. Have you picked up Zeta Zulu yet?
The black elephant? He's lying over there.
Baked potatoes, he snuffed it. What happened? Did he get in the way of a stampeding sausage?
No, he didn't. There's a spear in his chest.
There's no need to ask who did that.
I'm not very happy about it, Inspector. Mishu didn't kill him in self-defense or anything like that. He saw Zeta Zulu streaking this way, and he went straight after him with his assegai. Strictly speaking, it was murder.
Oh, now, baked potatoes.
Oh, wasn't Zeta Zulu a murderer?
All right, calm down, fellows. There's no need to go off the deep end about it. Strictly speaking, Mr. Haynes is right.
Well, don't let's speak so very strictly.
But he probably doesn't know that Mishu's master was killed by the black elephant.
No, I didn't know that.
Nor that his fellow tribesmen were robbed and their villages burnt by the same devil.
I see what you mean. Mishu had some justification then.
Mishu is an uncivilized native. In his own eyes, what he did was right. And in our eyes, all he did was to save the hangman a job. I think the eyes of the law could glance the other way for once. Don't you, Mr. Haynes?
Well, perhaps they could. Well, if you don't mind, I'll load my fellows onto the trucks right away. I'm rather anxious to get back to Pat. We'll be way within a quarter of an hour, Inspector.
Righto.
He's anxious to get back to Pat. Sizzling sausages, how do you like that?
Go carefully with her. Have you fixed the cabin, Algy?
Yes, she'll be quite comfortable in here.
What's happening? I've just arrived back with the trucks.
It's Pat. She's not too well. Take it gently, Bertie.
Ease her into the kite.
Here, what's the matter?
The wound must have become septic. She was delirious when we arrived back and running a high fever. I gave her a shot of morphia to put her to sleep.
And where are the boys taking her in the plane?
Algy's flying her up to Juba, your headquarters. I understand there's a hospital there.
Yes, a very good one. I'll follow with the trucks as soon as I can.
I'm taking the Mozzie to Kampala to let the authorities know what's happened, and then flying to Juba to pick up Algy. Well, I'll say goodbye then, Mr. Haynes.
Right.
Keep clear, you blokes. I'm taking off now.
See you later, Algy.
And Pat.
The news about me, Biggles.
The doctor tells me you will be in a hospital here for some weeks yet. Oh, that's bad news, Pat.
Positively the worst that could ever be waffled at us by Joe. What are we going to do without you, old darling?
Get along fine, as you did before I joined you. Sometimes I think you'd be much better without a girl tagging along.
Oh, what nonsense, Pat. You're part of the team. It functions like a broken-down old engine when you aren't with it.
I refuse to believe it. And you'll prove me right when you go back to England. There's certain to be another job waiting for you. You'll do it magnificently. Just you, Biggles, and you, Algy, and Bertie and Ginge.
We'll miss you like blazes, Pat.
And I'll miss you, too. It's going to be dreadfully lonely here by myself.
Hey, Pat. You haven't forgotten I'm here, have you? This is my headquarters. I'm going to see that my next assignment is solely to keeping you from being lonely.
You'll be in good hands with Jerry Haynes to mother you, Pat. But I second Algy's motion. We'll miss you like blazes. Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye, Biggles. And goodbye to all of you. Good luck on your next job. Whatever happens when you reach England, see that the old team comes out on top. Even though I'm not with you.
Don't like this fog much. Seems to be growing worse.
Oh, we're back in England now, old son. No use yearning for those African twilights here. This is the foggy old dark. And if you don't like it, you can very well lump it.
I like it, even if the fogs do make flying unpleasant. I don't suppose you've been checking on our position, have you, Bertie?
What, over England? No need to, old sausage. We Lissies know the valley place as well as we know the bumps and notches on old Harriet.
Well, where are we then? All I can see below us is a pea soup.
We're flying over Norfolk. Well, we're approaching the coast if we aren't actually over it yet. I caught a glimpse of the jolly old wash a few minutes ago. Made me feel positively unclean.
I know that much myself, but I'm not sure just what part of the wash or Norfolk we're flying over. Hop aft and tell Algy and Ginge that I'm making a forced landing. Maybe a blind landing.
Whizzo! A spot of excitement in England itself. Harriet, old darling, prepare for thrills.
Don't joke about it, Bertie. We aren't down yet. There may be more thrills ahead than we bargained for.
Neither Biggles nor Bertie can guess what lies ahead, but there are thrills awaiting the air police. Will they make the forced landing safely? What will they find when they put down? Share their thrills in the exciting new story of the air adventures of Biggles.